I want them, right?
No, you're not, Michael, because we only have a limited number of tires that we're going to give these guys. I think the first half of this race is going to play out. I think we're going to run the first stage. Everyone's going to stop, put 4 tires on. We're going to run the second stage, ends at lap 80. We're going to put 4 tires on then. That's when the strategy comes in. The consensus in the garage area is that Kyle Busch has the best truck, and that's a huge surprise for everybody. But I asked some of the crew chiefs, how can you beat Kyle Busch? And the only way to do that, they think, is to do something different than what he does. I talked to his crew chief, Marcus Richmond. He said anytime after, with 30 laps to go, he wants to come in and put those tires on if the caution comes out. And the other guys, someone say 20, 25, the only way to beat him, if he comes at 30, you stay out and you gamble. The only problem is if you gamble and don't catch that caution, you take those new tires home with you, you finish about 18.
And then you would feel real silly, right?
Really silly.
You don't want to take the new ones home with you, that's for sure. We're going to keep track of it all upstairs, and downstairs it'll be Alan Cavana and Hermie Sadler.
Well, Vince, last week at Daytona, Ben Rhodes finished 4th, but after the race, his truck failed NASCAR inspection, which resulted in a suspension for crew chief Eddie Traconis. Now, the team felt like the issue was damage to the truck, so they appealed the penalty. Eddie Traconis is here this weekend at Atlanta. Ben Rhodes' one career victory in this series came at Las Vegas, also a 1.5 mile racetrack like we're on today. So they know they can win at this type of racetrack. But for Ben to win today, he will have to learn from a late race mistake that he made here last year. A late race restart. Watch Ben Rhodes. He's on the outside in the 27 truck. He spins the rear tires. He goes from 4th on a restart all the way back to outside the top 10. You cannot lose that kind of track position late in the race at a place like here at Atlanta and expect to go to victory lane. Alan?
Hermie, 19-year-old Noah Gragson is expected to contend for a title this year, but to win today, he'll have to do it by passing boss man and truck owner Kyle Busch. That'll be a challenge, but we know Gragson is up for a challenge because he has spent the week tweeting at Olympic champion Lindsey Vonn, asking her for a date. Now, the young man hasn't exactly got a response yet, but he's still waiting. He is not discouraged, and he says if he can win today in Atlanta, maybe that'll raise his profile a little more, and he'll finally get that answer. Guys?
I hope he's not holding his breath waiting on that response from Lindsey Vonn. That's for sure. But Gragson, as Alan brings up, an interesting story. And today's in the truck that Christopher Bell dominated in a year ago. And he's with the crew chief that Bell had, Rudy Fugle. Is there more pressure on Gragson because he's working with Rudy Fugle, the championship maker at KBM?
I certainly think so, Vince, but it's because he puts it on himself. This is Gragson at Martinsville last fall. That's the veteran Matt Crafton on the bottom. Gragson drives around him and goes to victory lane. He believes he's championship material, and he believes with Rudy Fugle on the box, that's exactly how this season will end, with a championship.
And you better be a championship contender when Rudy Fugle's on the box, right? Because that's the #1 machine, kind of the house truck, if you will.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And everybody wants to put themselves in position to win a championship, and pairing him with Rudy Fugle is certainly going to do that.
How about the veteran Matt Crafton in that 88? He didn't have the year on the 1.5 miles last year that we're accustomed to seeing Matt have. Is this going to be a different campaign for him in that 88 team?
I talked to Junior Joyner just a few minutes ago, and he said that Matt really likes the way that truck feels. He said, that's what I'm shooting for. I didn't really care about the stopwatch. I didn't care about how many laps on the tires. I just wanted him to be comfortable, and I think he is. So I think he said he thinks we have a good shot.
And you know what I love? Matt Crafton's wearing our visor cam, Vince. We're going to be in that truck and seeing just what it's like for the veteran Matt Crafton to try to match his skills against Kyle Busch. But you know, I like the kid. I think Noah Gragson might have something for him today.
Well, it's going to be fun, that's for sure. And as always with the truck series, it's a great mix of veterans and young drivers. Got 4 teenagers in the field. And right there on that front row, as mentioned, Kyle Busch and Matt Crafton. And when it comes to the trucks, it doesn't get much better than that. And don't forget Johnny Sauter, who opened the season with a victory. First, we got to get that command to fire those engines.
Race fans, it's time again for the most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome today's Grand Marshals, representing the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, Madison and Mason Mangham.
Drivers, start your engines!
The second half of the doubleheader. The Xfinity Series set the stage. The trucks getting ready to roll. Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's a fun day. It's a beautiful day here. One of the things we're going to see throughout the course of the day, Mike, these young guys battling the veterans.
Checkered flag is up. Christopher Bell wins at Atlanta.
Thank you, guys.
Christopher Bell wins stage 1, wins stage 2. He has had a big day here at Atlanta.
Christopher Bell wins the championship in 2017. 32 trucks lined up, fired up, ready to roll.
You got a mix of veterans. You got a mix of rookies. We're going to see a mix of everything.
Are you ready? Go, 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 go.
Atlanta Motor Speedway. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Race number 2 of the season, and we are ready for it. What a challenging racetrack this has been throughout the first couple of practices and qualifying for these drivers. And Mike, as we take a look at that Camping World track description, it in itself is a story.
Well, the mile-and-a-half doesn't really tell the whole story. Those 24-degree bank corners, that means a lot of speed in there, but there just isn't any grip when you get to the end of that 2,300-foot front straightaway, the 1,800-foot back. You fly into those corners, Phil, and that begins the thrill of slipping and sliding.
Let's take a look at our Shell Rotella race analysis. As you see, this race length is 130 laps, 200 miles. You see those 3 stages, lap 40, lap 80, and the last stage is 50 laps.
Our starting lineups for today's race. You see there the grid on the pylon, and we'll check in again with Hermie.
Well, Vince Jr. Joyner is the crew chief for Matt Craft, and you guys are trying to rebound from Daytona. Been working all weekend in the sunshine. Now we have cloud cover. How will that affect the handling of the 88 truck?
I think we'll be fine. I think it's going to help everyone else. I was looking for some Georgia sunshine, but we got a good Menards Ford F-150. There ain't no reason we can't go to victory lane. We just got to beat the best in the business.
Alan?
And Hermie, a lot of drivers would tell you that cloud hanging over 1 and 2 right now is their best friend, because without it, the sun would be shining directly in their eyes as they're going full blast into turn 1. And I walked up and down pit road looking at the trucks as before the race started, and you can see that a lot of them have prepared for it. There's a lot of tape on a lot of these windshields, tape that will come off throughout the race should that cloud move. And as we go into nighttime, because this race will end under the lights, so a lot to prepare for as they drop the green flag. They're loving that cloud though, guys.
And Johnny Sauter opened our season a week ago at Daytona with the win. He'll start 9th tonight.
Yeah, let's see if we can chat with Johnny. Hey, Johnny Sauter, Phil Parsons and the boys up in the Fox booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Sure do.
Great job last week, buddy. And this is probably about as different a racetrack as you can come to. How is that truck?
Yeah, 10-4. It gets real pretty quick once you unload here. So Atlanta's been a tough one for me through the years. So Legion Travel Chevy is pretty decent. We worked on it a lot this morning, so we're kind of going into this thing with a clean slate. So Joe and the boys work hard. We'll have good pit stops and try to execute when it matters. And obviously watching the Xfinity race, people running all over the place. And but I know what group preferred for the win, so we're going to try to work that.
Johnny, you got that win under your belt. You're already in the playoffs. Gives you guys an opportunity maybe to gamble. You talked about that with Joe?
Yeah, 10-4. I think this is Truck Series racing, man. You always got to gamble. So you got to race hard, and we'll see what happens. You just never know how these things are going to work out. Obviously, you got to save the tires for the end. That's the biggest thing.
All right, buddy. Good luck.
You see those statistics of Johnny Sauter, 8 wins on the mile-and-a-half. Now, this is the first of 10 races on mile-and-a-half tracks this season. 10 of the 23 races on a mile-and-a-half. And I know this place is unique, but if you've got your eyes on a championship, you better be pretty darn good on the mile-and-a-halves.
He heated up at the end of last year, Vance. You could see Martinsville on the half mile. The mile-and-a-half at Texas, he gets the win. A mile at Phoenix, he was good everywhere. Comes to Daytona in February, grabs the biggest trophy in all of NASCAR Camping World Truck Series racing. This team is on a roll. I look for them to be loose and free as we race through the first part of this season and grab more wins.
Absolutely.
Got some great looks coming your way today, including a couple of onboards.
This may be my favorite look right here from Matt Crafton's onboard. This is the Ford onboard. This is the visor cam. Matt Crafton, all he sees right now is a pace truck. They drop the green flag. He's got to worry about that guy on his left, and that's Kyle Busch. Why don't we ride along with him too, Mike?
Yeah, thank you, Matt Crafton, for carrying that camera. And we're going to hop on board with Kyle Busch. He's in that number 4 truck. It's the Toyota onboard camera. This is the guy, of course, we all talked about being the favorite to win this race. But I think he's got some heavy competition that he's going to have to fend off to do that.
The numbers for Kyle are staggering in the Camping World Truck Series, and 49 wins. The record, Ron Hornaday with 51 today, if he gets it, would be significant at number 50.
Do the math. That's more than 35% of the time that when he tees it up in the Truck Series, he goes to victory lane. That is incredible.
It's mind-boggling. You just don't see that coming.
Listen to the radio, Parker Kligerman.
All right, guys. Thank you for your hard work. It's been a good weekend. Let's have some fun out here. I'll do my best down here. You do best down there. We'll have a good night.
A lot of talk in the garage area. Phil, that old Parker's got some good speed, too, in the 75 truck. So many great stories that we're going to be covering here tonight.
Well, not just the speed, but how your truck handles over the course of the run. That's going to be the key here today. Those tires are going to go away quickly, and how good can your truck be deep into the run of this first 40-lap stage, for instance. Kyle Busch, the pole winner on the inside. Matt Crafton in that neon yellow on the outside, and we're racing at Atlanta. Noah Gragson gave the boss, Kyle Busch, a nice push to the front, and then Gragson jumps right to the outside, looking to make something happen right out of the gate.
Obviously no team orders there at KBM.
That was a textbook start by Gragson. Use that advantage, that momentum to drive around the boss. That's my pick. Take the lead, Phil. And here comes yours going for second.
How about that? Strong run early for Matt Crafton as well.
So he started third, but Noah Gragson leads the first lap. Matt Crafton and Kyle Busch, who started on the front row, the two of them still side by side.
Matt's doing a great job hanging in there on the outside. And oh, trouble already. Norm Benning is around.
So Norm Benning brings out the yellow.
We just flat spot her.
And Benning's going to have to bring it in and put tires on. You heard him say flat spotted the tires with that spin.
Norm coming off a really good run, top 15 at Daytona last week.
Isn't that just racing? One of his best runs of his career at Daytona. First, second lap here in Atlanta, he's around sideways. He saved that truck, though, put those tires on it, and go back to battle.
Well, we talked about Noah Gragson before the drop of the green flag, and some of the pressure on him, some of the accomplishments. We saw his win last season from Martinsville. And man, he's impressive right out of the gate today.
You know what I love about this, Vince? This early caution with the restart. Now Noah's going to be able to start on the pole and figure out what it's going to take for him to keep the lead. He swiped it away from Kyle Busch on the start. Now he needs to figure out how to restart and drive away. That could be a key to winning this race later on tonight, getting that great restart down on the bottom.
And we've seen the outside struggle on a lot of these restarts. He was able to parlay that outside start to the lead.
We mentioned 4 teenagers in the race this afternoon. He's one of them. The 7 of Corbin Forrester and the 49 of Wendell Chavis passing before they got to the start-finish line, and they're going to have to go to the rear for this restart.
Yeah, without a doubt, you have to stay in line till you get to start-finish line. Even though they get jumbled up, they have the option, and you see the 7 of Forrester just jumped down to the inside, made it 3 wide, and just kept on going.
Yeah, if you fall down there to miss a wreck and don't advance your position, they won't black flag you. But that was against the rules what the 7 truck did.
So they'll go to the tail, and plenty of time to make that up. We're just at lap 4 of 130.
And you have to watch those restarts all day, Vince, because as these leaders try to get that grip in those tires, we talked about the outside lane struggling. As they try to do that, that means they're going to be playing some games a bit, maybe holding the field down as they get closer. The according effect will go back through the field, and it'll get bunched up. So those guys have to work closely with their spotters to understand exactly what's happening ahead.
Remember, those were not new tires. Those are the same tires they qualified on. So the guy starting up in the top 12 positions had actually 2 runs on those tires. Now they have 3 with that aborted start there.
Check in on the 88 of Crafton.
Vince, you see the 88. He is in a KBM sandwich with the 18 of Gregson in front of him. He's also got Kyle Busch in front of him. He's got the 51 behind him, and he has already complained or made comments, Matt Crafton that is, about how the 4 and the 18 conducted themselves on that first restart. So he's concerned about how maybe the 4 may race him while trying to maybe let the 18 get away. So he's already sent a warning to the spotter of Kyle Busch saying no monkey business on these restarts, because if somebody does something wrong, I will wreck somebody. So we'll see what happens.
So a little teamwork, not unexpected.
Well, and the way Matt viewed it was probably much different than the way Kyle and Noah looked at that situation. But, you know, the beauty part of it, Phil, we get to watch them line up and do it again. And on that initial start of the race, Noah Gregson came from the 3rd starting spot where Matt Crafton is right now, pushed his way to the front. Can Matt, I talked about earlier, Noah figuring out how to lead from the front. Can Matt take advantage of what he saw work on the initials?
Yeah, I said earlier that Noah parlayed an outside start. Well, he was outside because he drove outside Kyle Busch. He pushed him down into turn 1, jumped to the outside, and drove on by.
There's Spencer Davis and another KBM truck lined up on the outside of row 2. And a really fast Justin Haley in the 5th position. I believe we saw enough in the Xfinity race to say that inside starting lane is a bit of an advantage. So where does Haley go as they head toward turn 1?
Saw the Spencer Davis information, and then there's Justin Haley, another 2 of the teenagers. Davis 19, Haley 18. Haley runner-up at Daytona a week ago.
There's Haley in the 24 bin roads, that green and white truck, number 41 on the outside.
Getting ready to go back racing after the yellow brought out by Norm Benning. Noah Gregson will start on the inside, and that's Kyle Busch on the outside. Right behind Busch is his KBM teammate Spencer Davis. Green is waving, racing again in Atlanta.
Great start by Gregson. Look at Matt Crafton.
Oh, and here comes Haley trying to split the middle. Kyle Busch said not so quickly, and Cody Coughlin in that yellow truck to the bottom.
How about 3 wide already?
Coughlin saw an opening and went right for it. Aggressive move, well done from Cody Coughlin. And Haley's going to lose another couple of spots.
Kyle moves up to the top of the racetrack. We know there's some grip up there.
The delicate balance, though, isn't it, Phil? Running that high line, the drivers seem to think it wears your tires out sooner. So when you got to make a move, going high might be the best way to do it, but you could pay the price on the other end.
And that's what's unusual for these Truck Series guys. Normally they're the first race of the weekend, but here at Atlanta, as it was last year, they're the second race of the doubleheader as we ride along with this visor cam of Matt Crafton. Watch how hard he's working in that truck.
That is a beautiful sight. I think he was defensive in that corner a bit, Bill. He knew Kyle Busch had gone up top. He moved up to middle high himself to see what that might feel like. And then right back to the bottom in turn 1.
Here comes Kyle.
Matt got loose.
Making quick work of the 88 of Crafton. Just one slight bobble from Crafton while Kyle Busch had that momentum, and it was an easy pass.
It takes at least a half a lap to get the momentum back, and that's only because these guys are lifting out of the throttle in the corners.
To a big moment for Noah Gregson. He's got the lead. I know he just hopes Lindsey Vaughn's watching. He's taking it to 2 of the best in the Truck Series, 2-time champion Crafton, and everybody knows Kyle Busch's record. This is impressive. I think, Phil, you and I both believe Gregson might be one of the favorites for the championship.
Oh, without a doubt. We really thought that way towards the end of last season. As good as he was towards the end. Getting that big win at Martinsville.
Battling for a top 5 spot right there. The 2 of Cody Coughlin, the 41 of Ben Rhodes for 5th.
I'm going to put Rhodes in that category as a championship contender as well. The kid's got a lot of talent. We watched him just get better and better all throughout 17, getting the win late in the season. He's impressive.
There's another truck that a lot of people were talking about, Brett Moffitt, and that 16 truck for Shiggy Hattori. A lot of people said that truck was strong in practice yesterday.
And Moffitt takes the position from Coughlin. 10 laps down here at Atlanta. Joe Nemechek with a close call. Noah Gregson started 3rd, but he's led them all so far. Had the lead by the time they crossed the line the very first time around after passing Matt Crafton and Kyle Busch on the initial start of the race.
He's opened it up too, a little bit over a second now. Lead over Kyle Busch. Kyle running the high side, Matt Crafton right down to the bottom in that fluorescent yellow truck. Staying right with Kyle.
That green truck there, Ben Rhodes, he says he's got some sort of engine issue, Hermie, but that darn thing looks like it's running well.
He said a couple times on the radio that the engine is bogging down, and he's said a couple times that it shut off. I came down and I've talked to Eddie Traconis on top of the pit box, and he said he understands what Ben is saying, but the truck is still running top 3 and top 4 lap times, so they're still trying to diagnose more information from Ben Rhodes, but we'll keep an eye on the 41 and see if the engine gets worse.
Certainly not what you want to hear from your driver at this stage of the race. As you see, Matt Crafton has gotten around Kyle Busch for 2nd.
Moved up in front of Kyle, and Kyle got into the tailgate a bit there. Maybe he was just trying to help Matt along. What do you think,
Probably
Bill?
so. A little bump drafting, you think?
Ooh, look at Dalton Sargent in that 25 truck, loose in the center of the corner, opening up the door for both Grant Enfinger and Parker Kligerman to come around.
Johnny Sauter on the move around the outside.
How about Jesse Little, that 97 truck on the inside? Good qualifying effort for that team, and he's running well up here in the top 10.
This is one of my favorite stories. Talking to Jesse down in the garage area, he has 2 employees, and why is that significant, Phil? Because that's 2 more than he had last year. He and his buddies just put together a truck and came and run, and he was competitive throughout those attempts. And look at him now driving around Daytona winner Johnny Sauter. He says his schedule includes 8 races this year. Jesse Little's going to be fun to watch.
Here's that pass of Kyle Busch by Matt Crafton for 2nd place just a moment ago.
And Matt's been stuck right back at the bottom.
Ooh, he was closing.
He's been able to drive away from Kyle Busch a little bit.
How many times have we seen that lately? Somebody just going up and taking spots away from Kyle Busch. We thought, looking at the lap tracker, there were trucks that were actually better than Kyle. And what I'm curious about, Phil, is when he gets the opportunity to come to pit road, how does Kyle's experience and knowledge of that vehicle and this track allow him to direct changes, adjustments to his truck that can get him back up to being the fastest?
We have to believe he's going to know what changes to make. He's won here 4 different times in a truck.
How about Justin Haley? Restarted 5th and has dropped considerably. And he dropped spots right out of the gate. Did not get a good restart. Lost 4 positions immediately, and since has slipped back a couple of more spots. Now he's dropped to the 13th position. Meanwhile, Noah Gregson continues to stretch it out. 2-second lead over Crafton.
Yeah, and all on the radio, all we're hearing to Noah right now is discipline, discipline, discipline. We're also hearing a voice say, make it live. You know where I've heard that before? At this very same race last year on the very same radio, except to Christopher Bell, the driver who was driving that truck last year at this race and ended up winning. Same advice. Looks like it's treating him very well as he looks for another checkered flag here in the truck series, guys.
Crafton running 2nd, and Gregson continues to lead. The teenager from Las Vegas, Nevada, out front. Hey, from the director of Fast and the Furious, the Hurricane Heist is in theaters beginning March 9th. Now here's a special look at the film, rated PG-13. 14 laps remaining in stage 1. Camping World Truck Series from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Second half of the doubleheader. Kevin Harvick won the Xfinity Series race earlier this afternoon. Here's the 41 of Ben Rhodes. Talking about a little bit of an issue possibly for Rhodes.
Doesn't seem to be hurting him too bad.
No.
Here he is going to make the move by the 4. Look at that good run he has coming off turn 2. Look at all that momentum. And it's going to drive right by that 4 of Kyle Busch.
Yeah, Rhodes said he felt like he was having power trouble. Didn't look like there's any power trouble there.
Looked like he had plenty of power there, didn't it?
Here's the 4 radio of Kyle Busch after that pass by Rhodes.
These left rear spring out. If you can't get left rear spring out because you don't have the rubber, you got to do left rear air. You got to do a little bit of right front air. I think we got to do a round in both sides of the back wedge.
The 41 is continuing to diagnose or try to give feedback to Eddie Traconis about what is going on with the 41. He's running lap times just as fast as the 18 and the 88. Now he has asked the crew chief to go back and try to let him know what his RPM band was in practice yesterday so he can really tell how much, if any, it's losing RPM. But the way it's going, I don't think I would touch a thing.
That's right, Hermie. And you know, we asked earlier, would Kyle Busch know what adjustments he wanted and would he be able to make a difference in the handling of that truck? What about that laundry list he had?
Just 4. There were just 4 separate adjustments.
He gave them options too. We need left rear spring out if you don't have a rubber back there. Take some air out of that tire, put some air in the other tires. Just what we figured he would do. Really make a major change to that truck because they're taking it to him right now.
That's the advantage of having someone like Kyle Busch in your vehicle. He knows exactly what the truck needs and wants to make sure his team in the pits is on the same page.
Well, and of all those changes he made last time by, he was the fastest truck on the track. So it's got to tell you that if he gets it the way he wants it to, he might have something to say about Noah Gragson, Matt Crafton, and Ben Rhodes driving away from him.
He's just a little tick off right now. How about that 20 truck, Vince? He's had somewhat of a busy week, you think?
You can imagine that he's even had time to think about being back in the race car, or in this case the race truck. Austin Dillon, after winning the Daytona 500 a year ago, and this is his first race since winning the Daytona 500. Of course, they'll run the Cup race tomorrow.
Celebrated by getting a tattoo.
Yeah. We don't want to see it, though.
No, I don't want to. I don't care how many times you win Pocono, you ain't gonna get no tricky triangle tattoo. But you win the Daytona 500, baby, and you're gonna head to the parlor.
Rhodes in that green 41 and Kyle Busch in the 4 as they go back and forth. Problem for the 24 of Justin Haley. Hearing that he's got a flat tire, Hermie.
Right rear tire flat is the call for the 24 of Justin Haley. Bad break for this race team. Good qualifying run. They got the right side up. They're talking about maybe only putting 2 on with this few amount of laps to go on the stage, but a costly break for the 24.
That tire didn't look down. It could certainly be low on air, and that's just a disastrous pit stop. You saw the jack fall there, and it messed up the right front guy, and he had a big struggle.
Boy, under green, you just cannot afford any. Well, you can't afford even to come to pit road under green, much less to come and have a problem on your pit stop.
Yeah, he's going to find himself 2 laps down after that pit stop as we watch Noah Gragson continue to circulate here. Just about 7 laps to go now in stage number 1.
A KBM truck has dominated this first stage, but I don't think many expected it to be the 18.
No, sure didn't. I know they had a good truck. I talked to Rudy. He said our truck is very, very good. He didn't think he was quite as good as Kyle Busch after yesterday, but early on, the results are in. It looks pretty good.
There's a lot of racing today. Of course, the Xfinity race prior to this one here in the trucks. Tomorrow, a little change on the schedule, so make sure if you're setting your DVR, you want to make note of this, or if you're coming out to Atlanta Motor Speedway tomorrow, the start of the Cup race has been moved up 1 hour to a 1 o'clock start on Fox. And you see it all begins with race day on FS1 at noon, the pre-race show at 12:30, and then the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 at 1 o'clock Eastern. And that is up an hour because of some threatening weather in the forecast. They want to try to get that in tomorrow.
How about that 16 truck, Phil? You were talking about him after practice saying this was a potent machine, and he's running down the battle for the 3rd position between Kyle and Ben.
Yeah, we're getting a report from Hermie that the 24 truck right rear tire was down. Wasn't completely flat on the rim, but it was low of air.
Well, and that was a great job to get it to pit road without blowing it out.
Watching Kyle Busch and Ben Rhodes jockeying for 3rd place. Busch has it currently, but Rhodes.
Whoa, bad corner for Rhodes.
Yeah,
that engine might have had an issue there.
Well, that's sure what it looked like.
And now slowing down, and here comes Moffitt around Rhodes in that 41. It's like trouble.
Still there. It's going to be 1 back off, 2 up top here. You're clear up right here. Clear up. By 1. Coming to you bumper here with a run. Inside quarter. He's all by himself. Still there. Still there. It's a quarter.
Just a handful of laps
Stay focused,
to go.
Bud. Stay focused, man. Clear low. Clear all around right here. 97.
You feeling maybe Rhodes and what you're hearing from the spotter and crew chief maybe losing focus, thinking about potential engine issues?
Well, it looked like to me he had an issue like he does right there.
Like ooh, very, very loose. Is that left rear tire look a little low, Mike? We saw a few issues in the Xfinity race earlier today.
Great
Clear
shot.
all around. Clear all around. 21 will be 5 back right here.
Eddie Chaconis,
right up
crew
top.
chief.
2. Still there. Clear up.
Pits are closed here with 2 to go in the 1st stage. Now Johnny Sauter making the move on Rhodes.
Rhodes is back to the 6th position right now. That's what Johnny's trying to take.
Remember, stage points on the line here, so from Sauter's perspective, he tries to get every position he can. Rhodes trying to defend.
Obviously, that left rear tire is not down. He's able to maintain a pretty good speed here.
Well, he's had his handful, though, on several corners, though, here in the last few laps.
Yes, that was a good corner there, though. He opened up that gap on Johnny.
We heard talk earlier in the race about the engine cutting out, and that's exactly what it looked like from our cameras. But when the crew chief says focus, it makes you wonder if maybe there's other issues.
Matt Crafton moving in on Noah Gragson.
Under a second. But they're coming to the green and white checkers, signaling the end of stage 1, and Noah Gragson led them all 40 laps for the 18 truck. Stage 1 winner. Noah Gragson out front from the very beginning. Wins stage 1 at Atlanta. After stage 1 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, you see up there in the upper left-hand portion of the screen, lap 43 of 130. So the first stage is complete, and they're going to be coming to pit road this time by, and everybody's going to be wanting tires. Give me some of those tires.
Yeah.
Put 7 of them on if you can. I'll take 8. Put all 8 of them.
Yeah, those guys fell off, what, a couple seconds, Michael, from their fast lap.
Yeah, and it's just interesting to me the way they learn to manage. You know, you go out there and you can run 2 seconds faster, but then they back it down and just keep pushing as hard as they can, keeping those things headed mostly straight.
Was impressed with Noah Gragson, though. We mentioned as he took the lead off the start of the race from his 3rd starting position and then led every lap. Also heard some good radio from Kyle Busch talking about the changes that he once made to his truck. But Matt Crafton, an impressive stage 1 performance as well.
Sure is.
Here they come to pit road, Hermie.
Vince, the 88 is loose. They're going to put 4 tires, fuel, and a wedge adjustment on the 88. They want to do that because they think wedge will cost the least amount of time on pit road. Alan.
Leader Noah Gragson feeling great after that first stage. No changes for him, just 4 tires, 0 adjustments. Kyle Busch, though, just the opposite. He says it's plowing so tight it feels like the right front is going to blow. He wants 4 tires and a major handling adjustment to get some speed back in that truck.
Boy, major problems on the right rear of that 18 truck. Already done on the left front, or prepared to be finished on the left front. Before they could get that right rear off.
Going to cost him a bunch of positions. At least 4. Looks like he's going to come out in the 5th spot.
So a tough set of circumstances for Noah Gragson, who led all the laps in that first stage, but troubles on pit road.
Vince, what do you say we try to shout at Brett Moffitt? What a great first stage it was for him. He's in contention for this win. Brett Moffitt, it's Michael Waltrip and the boys up in the Fox booth. Do you hear us?
Yes, sir. I got you, Mikey.
Well, I happen to personally know how good you are here at Atlanta Motor Speedway back when you drove for us, and you're proving it again today. You've got a fast truck, and it looks like you're on a mission.
Yeah, the boys, Scott and the boys, gave me a really good ice and tundra here, and you know, we were able to drive up through the field a little bit there. Got a little bit slower towards the end of the run, but really happy with how she's handling. And yeah, 2015 Atlanta was a hell of a day, and I still appreciate that opportunity.
Well, it's fun to watch. See if you can do something with those Bush boys and Matt Crafton, and see if you can win this race.
Yeah, gonna have to beat the best. Thank you.
Well, a shake-up at the top, that's for sure. Problems for the 18 of Gragson. Came to the pits with the lead, and watch the issue on the right rear. Noah Gragson gets those 10 points at a stage win. Stuart Friesen, you see, finishing 9th in stage 1, has been over the wall too soon. Penalty. Issues for the 41 of Ben Rhodes. Hermie?
Yeah, NASCAR officials in the pit box, they brought the 41 back in. They raised the hood and the deck lid. They think it is a fuel pickup problem. They have looked to address that, and now they've been having discussions with the NASCAR officials about the possibility of having too many men over the wall working on the truck. So I'll get an update from Jacronis as soon as I can.
That thing must have been cutting off or something, Phil, and that's what we saw when he lost momentum off the corner when he was racing hard with Kyle Busch.
See Eddie Jacronis asking about the ruling of having too many men over the wall. They had 5, and if I could read Eddie's.
The team said
saying we got a right front tire up. Remember hitting it going in with the tire? Remember hitting the right front? Yes, I don't think so. I mean, whenever I just scruff the tires back and forth, side to side, all I hear and think I'm hearing is rocks going everywhere.
So the 18 of Gragson reported to his team that he thought the 4 had a tire rub. Keep an eye on that situation.
97 of Jesse Little, not only a strong start to the race on the track, his team held serve up in the 6th position.
And back to the 41 for a moment, that there was a rule change in regards to the number of men you could have over pit road, and that's the discussion being had.
There's a disagreement there, and usually NASCAR wins those disagreements, but with the new rule, I'm sure they're listening closely to the team.
Stage 2 underway. Matt Crafton leading the charge.
Give a shout out to Johnny Sauter and Brett Moffitt. What solid runs on the outside. We know how tough it is to get a hold of the road out there. They got it done, Phil.
Yeah, we didn't really see that in the Xfinity race after the initial start.
Whoa, look at that move to the bottom by Sargent.
I guess Enfinger, isn't it, in that 98 truck?
Wow, look at that move by Enfinger.
The trucks are painted almost identical, aren't they?
They are.
Couple of champs side by side out front, Crafton and Sauter.
That third truck on the outside, that's Enfinger, the 98 that we were talking about. I love this man, the way he races his truck. And that was an aggressive move. You saw him dive to the bottom. We were talking to him down in the garage area, and he says, sometimes I don't think I'm aggressive enough. I think he made up for it there. That was a big move.
Took a peek down on the inside of the portrait of Kyle Busch. Kyle moved down to block that move by Enfinger.
So you've got Crafton in the front, and then Sauter in that blue and white 21. Then it's Moffitt in the blue 16 with Kyle Busch slotting in the 4th position, and Grant Enfinger in 5th.
Jesse Little right there, that 97, blue 97, with a top 5 run in stage 1, just outside the top 5 now. What a great battle for the lead we have here.
Johnny Sauter trying to take over the top spot. Crafton not giving it up as they go through turn 3.
feel the youngster Noah Gregson dominated the first stage. How about a couple vets up here battling for the lead in this stage?
Crafton by about half a truck, and now Sauter coming right back on the outside. Here comes Kyle Busch
with a head of steam right here now.
He'll dive to the bottom, you think? Oh, Sauter throws the block.
Kyle was headed to the bottom just like you called it, Mike.
That was an aggressive move by Johnny.
It was here so early in this second stage.
I think that tells you how important it is to these guys to keep Kyle Busch in their rearview mirror.
Busch working the top groove, and that's Sauter and Crafton on the bottom.
He really gets through 1 and 2 good. Look at how much at the momentum he has as he exits turn 2. Not quite going to get to Johnny's tailgate this time.
That's a good corner by Crafton. Man, that's a beautiful shot.
You can hear him modulating that throttle. Patience, discipline.
Kyle Busch now on the bottom, looking for the lead from Sauter.
Look at Brett Moffitt. He was all over the yellow truck of Matt Crafton back there. And he's going to move to the inside of Crafton. Johnny's trying to hang on the outside of Busch.
Kyle Busch has won here at Atlanta 4 times, but never in a KBM truck. All 4 of his wins came when he was driving for Billy Ballew.
I think he wants to change that, doesn't he?
Looks like the adjustments they made has got that truck lower on the racetrack. If you take wedge out of that left rear, that'll lower the truck, and that looks like where it's dragging.
We saw the 41 of Rhodes with issues on pit lane and also some concern about whether the team had too many men over the wall during that stop, Hermie.
Well, Vince, as far as the performance of the truck, they thought there was a coil wire situation that they corrected when he was on pit road. However, the truck is still shutting off, so they have not really found what the gremlin is with the 41, but it's still running, but still having issues with it. As far as the discussion with NASCAR, there was a penalty. They had too many men over the wall. There was a misunderstanding as to the gas man going over the wall. Could he work on the truck if he did not have the gas can or stick the gas can in the truck? But the penalty, in essence, had already been served. Tail end of the longest line. That's where the 41 was already at. So he's back on the racetrack. He is running, but he's still shutting off in the corners. We'll see how it affects the rest of his day.
Meanwhile, Kyle Busch laying it down. More than a half-second lead at Atlanta.
Three, two, one.
Hi there, welcome into NASCAR Race Hub.
Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano,
Kevin Harvick.
7-time Jimmy Johnson. We're happy you're here, man.
Joe, I think you make this look pretty good.
You see the biggest stars in the sport. They all play here. NASCAR Race Hub.
Fun,
fast,
fresh,
unpredictable.
You just never know what's going to happen.
And always entertaining.
Gonna be a good one.
NASCAR Race Hub, weeknight, 6 p.m. Eastern on FS1.
All week we work. We clock in, roll up our sleeves, and get the job done. And when Friday comes, we all get to raise
When they take the green, there will be 10 to go.
a little hell.
Toyota, let's go places. Section PU 402, row 41.
Jimmy Johnson, the fastest gun in the West.
Section 104, row 4.
Blaney got his first win.
Section 25, row 3.
What a year for Bubba.
Section O, row 25.
Keselowski's gonna win at Talladega.
Section 156, row 4.
Kurt Busch to the lead on the backstretch.
Section 233, row 1.
Martin Truex Jr. wins.
You get a seat, but we doubt you'll ever use it. Grab your seats at NASCAR.com/tickets today.
I don't know.
Companies in Louisville.
Back here at Atlanta, under caution. You saw during the commercial break, debris on the racetrack. Halfway through stage 2. Kyle Busch continuing to lead. Didn't see who put that debris on the track. There's a good look on board with Kyle.
Well, Vince, the wedge out, the air in, the wedge in, the air out, all those things seem to work well for Kyle Busch.
And this is that time in the show when you said you would want tires every time the caution came out, right, Mike?
I don't think we're getting them.
We're not going to get them now.
Right.
Absolutely not. No pitting here. You have to run this to the next stage, at the end of the stage, before you can come in and get your tires.
You get tires now, and a caution later in the race can totally turn over your apple cart. We got to just stay the course and try to figure out. Maybe if you're Ben Rhodes, you come to pit road and try to figure more about what's wrong with that truck.
Speaking of Rhodes. Oh, here's the 21 of Johnny Sauter.
We can't afford to stop here or anything, so we got to stay out here. Save your tires right here. Fuel.
That's the, you know what the best way to save tires and fuel are? Caution flag.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Really take care of them now.
Yeah.
But because of a limited number of sets,
and that's great.
You can't come and get them.
No, they all want them.
They all want them.
Oh, absolutely.
And we like that. Makes for some good strategy and interesting racing.
When we come back, a restart, continuing stage 2. Hey, tomorrow on Fox, the Monster Energy Cup Series, right back here at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 at an all-new time. Please make note of this. Pre-race starts at 12:30 Eastern on Fox. The race at 1 o'clock. It's all an hour earlier because of some potential weather situations here in the Atlanta area. Of course, you can stream it live on Fox Sports Go. So make that adjustment on your DVR if you're setting that at home, or just want to make sure you get home from church in time to see it. Maybe skip lunch.
Weather for last
lunch at home.
It's been glorious, hasn't it?
Beautiful, but forecast for tomorrow a little bit shaky, so hopefully we get a little earlier start, get it all in. On board there with Matt Crafton, and you're looking ahead on the front row. On the left is Kyle Busch, and that's Johnny Sauter right ahead of him.
Oh, Matt grabbed third gear there. Perfect start for Matt. Phil, you saw him just bump the back of Johnny, trying to help him. Wasn't enough. Brett Moffitt is diving up around the outside of Kyle Busch.
What a great, strong move by Brett Moffitt.
Brett Moffitt side by side with Kyle Busch. Johnny Sauter in that 21 diving down to the bottom.
What a great corner for Kyle that was. Able to just hug that yellow line and put Moffitt in his rearview mirror.
You saw Kevin Harvick do that for about 250 miles, didn't you?
This is a truck I'm watching closely, the one of 98 Enfinger. He just keeps getting better and better. And you know, the track conditions could start changing a bit. Even though we hadn't had direct sunlight on the track, it's cooling off, and it'll change the way these trucks handle.
And we wondered about Kyle Busch at the start of the race. Remember, this was a lot more rubber down on this racetrack than these guys were used to, because all their practice was done yesterday. Then we had that 250-mile Xfinity race prior to the start of this one.
You know, and Vince, a lot of times you'll hear for adjustments from the drivers, I need maybe a half a round to wedge, or maybe a half a pound of air out. Kyle knew he was in trouble. He knew the adjustments that he needed to be very, very extreme, and it looks like it's working.
Daytona 500 champ Austin Dillon right there in the 20 truck, and his teammate in the 02 of Austin Hill on the inside of that line.
What about Joe Nemechek up there in front of these trucks in that black 8? You see him there on the left of the screen, just outside the top 10. What an awesome run in Daytona for Joe, and He's backing it up here at Atlanta.
Remember, Joe's a former winner in the Xfinity Series here at Atlanta.
Joe in the 8 truck, normally in the team truck, the 87, but his son John Hunter not racing in the truck race today. He made his Xfinity Series debut with a great top 5 run earlier this afternoon. Side by side, the 0-2 Austin Hill and Cody Coughlin on the outside of that yellow Jegs.
This is a battle for the 12th position, just behind Joe Nemechek. Good run down the bottom of the racetrack for Austin Hill. Home game for him too. Another Georgia native.
Stuart Friesen right there in the 52. Trying to get underneath Coughlin also.
13 of Myatt Schneider's in this battle.
There's Austin Dillon sideways in that 20 truck on the bottom.
All back there in the 12th through 16th positions, battling for spots.
There's that green truck, the truck that was maybe the fastest the first 30 laps of the race, Ben Rhodes. They've been to pit road, worked on it, worked on a wiring issue, and now he finds himself back in the 17th position.
Dalton Sargent and Jesse Little for 8th position. Sargent in the 25, Little in the 97.
Good battle with a couple youngsters, and we have a veteran, Parker Kligerman, the 75, going to try to join this battle.
Oh, handful for Little.
When you can get loose on the straightaway, Phil, your tires are getting worn out.
Kligerman getting past Little, and Joe Nemechek going to try to take advantage also. As Sargent sits in that 8th spot with Kligerman in 9th. Little not giving up, hanging on in the top 10.
These are names it's going to be fun to get used to saying in 2018. Phil, Dalton Sargent just ahead of them, Spencer Davis. These kids are ready to rumble. They've got fast trucks, and they're really, really talented young drivers.
Sargent just 19 years old. 18-year-old Justin Haley.
Yeah, Vince, these guys had a great run at Daytona last week, finished second, but he's 2 laps down right now. Earlier today, he had a flat right rear tire that put him behind the 8-ball. Then they've been struggling. You can see it. The left front of that truck is off the ground. You guys can see it. They think they've got a broken shock on the left front of this truck. Problem is, they have not been able to have time to fix it yet. Watch it coming through here. The left front not sealed to the racetrack. So they've tried to work on it with chassis adjustments, but it has not gotten the job done. So he's 2 laps down and struggling with a loose truck.
I tell you, that's a tough call, Phil, because when you go down in the corner, it holds pretty good. It's pretty low. When you think the shock was a problem on the left front, it would be raising up there. When he gets on the straightaway, it definitely pops up too high, but I'm not sure it's on that left front corner.
Yeah, look at it compared to that 13 of Myatt Schneider that was in front of him. There's definitely an issue with that 24 truck.
And when you see that left front come up, Mike, how does that affect the handling characteristics of it?
It really, here at Atlanta, you'll see, look at even Snyder's truck, there'll be more gap in the front than at most mile-and-a-halves, because you have to have mechanical grip. Your shocks and springs have to work here. It's not all about aerodynamic downforce because the track is so slippery, but that's just too much, and it's just hurting it down the straightaway. All that air going under it doesn't let it go down the straightaway fast, but when he gets to the corner, to me, it looks like it seals down really good.
Biggest issue is just 2 laps down here. And the way the strategy is going to play out, it's going to be hard for him to get any of those laps back. He did come in during that caution flag, put tires on, so I would think he might decide to stay out at the end of this stage, get the wave around, and then bank on another caution early before he gets caught up and gets another lap down because of having older tires than the guys that put tires on.
And like you said at the opening of the show, Phil, sometimes you got to take a gamble. You got to take a chance to make something happen, hope for a caution. And he's certainly in that position now.
Brett Moffitt having a great run right now in second. He feels like he has a truck that can be aggressive. We've seen it the last 2 restarts, but he's worried he's been a bit too aggressive. He's worried he's abused that right rear tire. So maybe we may see him fade toward the end of this stage. It's all about balancing that aggression for the long run in this 3rd stage as we go toward the checkered flag, guys.
Well, he's got a 3 wide with Joe Nemechek in the middle. Austin Hill and Jesse Little making a sandwich. Wow.
The experience of Joe Nemechek. Joe Nemechek said, I don't need to be in the middle of this. Let me back off before we get in the corner.
Jesse Little with some strong momentum as he now closes up on Dalton Sargent as they cross the line. 5 to go here in stage 2.
These guys are battling for a point. Right now, Sargent is in 9th, Jesse Little 10th. 2 and 1 point respectively at the end of the stage.
Look at Joe hopping to the outside of Austin Hill. He'll take that spot away.
Dalton Sargent in that 25 out of the GMS camp. His crew chief, Doug Randolph, who worked with Chase Briscoe last season at Brad Keselowski Racing. It's good to see Briscoe in the Xfinity Series race earlier today.
I think he had a top 15 finish. Good start for his Xfinity career.
Look at that move. Little around the top of Dalton Sargent. He'll set his sights on Parker Kligerman, who's up ahead.
I'm impressed with what Jesse Little has done as he continues to work inside the top 10.
I've been impressed with what he's done since he showed up. This is a battle for second.
Well, we heard Allen say that maybe the 16 of Moffitt was going to lose his handle over the course of these final few laps in this stage, and we're seeing him slip from second to third as Sauter goes around.
Felt like he had abused his right rear tire. Just a couple laps to go. Need that to keep that tire under you.
That last time by, Johnny Sauter not only was faster than Moffitt and passed him, he also was faster than our leader, Kyle Busch. So Johnny Sauter's truck's coming to him. We talked about the possibility of track conditions changing as it cools off. I think Johnny Sauter's truck's liking what it feels.
Yeah, Johnny's truck did not look all that great in that first stage, but his crew chief Joe Shear probably made some adjustments. And again, as you mentioned, Michael, the track changing looks like it's coming to him.
Kyle Busch started on the pole but didn't lead a single lap in stage 1. His teammate Noah Gragson, who started third, led them all. But Kyle has been the dominant driver and truck combination here in stage 2, leading by just over a second over Johnny Sauter.
Whoa, sideways with very little room to spare out next to the outside wall.
Here's a battle for one of those points you talked about, Phil. Gregson's all over the back of Matt Crafton.
This is for 4th. Crafton currently holds it, and Kyle Busch coming around to take the green and white checkers for the stage 2 win here at Atlanta.
Great effort by Moffitt. Top 5 in both stages here today.
It's been a KBM kind of day. Not unusual on the mile and a halfs. A great day turning into a beautiful evening here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. You see the lights are on. We started in the late afternoon and we will finish under the lights. Doubleheader day here at Atlanta Motor Speedway and the Xfinity Series race just before this one. If you missed it, Kevin Harvick in dominating fashion won the Xfinity Series event with Christopher Bell finishing second. Bell, of course, the Truck Series champion a year ago. Or Bell was third, excuse me. I think Logano was second in that.
Here they come.
Coming to you, Hermie.
Vince Joe Shear Jr. made an air pressure adjustment last time down pit road for Johnny Sauter. It helped, so they'll do more of that. It'll be 4 tires and fuel. The biggest help, Johnny found a new line on the racetrack that gave him more grip. We'll see if it pays off. Allen.
We saw it play it on the racetrack for Brett Moffitt, just getting way too free at the end of a run. He wants 4 tires and an air pressure adjustment. Kyle Busch, happy obviously, won that stage, but he wants air pressure taken out of all 4 tires still. They're dialing that truck in for the end of this race, guys.
And that may be bad news for the rest of them.
Interesting, too. Alan, we saw the Ford truck bottoming out a lot on that restart. If he lowers those tire pressures more, that could cause him some handling issues, and a great stop by Johnny Sauter's team. They win the race off pit road.
Kyle Busch will come off second. Matt Crafton in third.
Jesse Little's team doing a nice job picking up 3 spots.
Yeah, let's see if we can talk to Matt Crafton. Hey, Matt Crafton, Phil and the boys up in the Fox booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Loud clear.
Matt, it looks like that truck's pretty good. Junior said that you really liked the feel of that truck yesterday. It looks like it's pretty strong today.
Yeah, it's real strong. First run we were good. We made an adjustment. I think we went overboard a little bit, but we do this as a team, Junior and I. So
We'll make it better. Like I said, that we took some of the adjustment what we did the first time out, so I think this Menard Ford F-150 is going to hunt now.
Well, we sure appreciate you carrying that visor cam for us. You're giving us some great pictures.
Thank you.
Love the view we get from Crafton and that visor cam, and the guys going to work on pit road. Kyle Busch won stage 2. His teammate Noah Gragson won stage 1. Alan?
Restart 6th. Your driver led a bunch of this race. He's capable of it. Is there an issue, and can he get back up there?
No, we got him a little bit too tight. I was expecting the track to free up more than it did, and I think we got the right adjustments in it now, and good restart, and I think we're Safe Light Auto Glass Tundra will be up front and competing where we need to be. We just need some clean air and get back to doing what we were doing, wrapping the bottom and doing all that.
They told the young man to be aggressive. We'll see what he can do on this restart.
Well, and remember, Noah lost quite a few spots when he came at the end of stage 1 because of that truck, that pit stop. They had some trouble on the right rear. You see Gragson won stage 1, Kyle Busch won stage 2. Now we're getting ready for the finale. The green is waving. Back racing at 11.
Look at that inside line, Michael. Go. How about Noah? He is aggressive on the restart. Jumps to the outside of Moffitt.
He listened to Rudy Fugle, didn't he? I didn't know if he could be aggressive up there because of not getting any traction, but he certainly gave it a run.
Look at Kligerman trying to push Moffitt. That's Kligerman in the 75.
Grant Enfinger thought about taking it 4 wide. Look at Ben Rhodes. Do they have that truck tuned up? Because he is hauling.
What a great restart and a great corner for Ben Rhodes.
Around the outside and right to the back bumper of Gragson. It's Gragson in the 18, Rhodes in the 41. Out front, it's Johnny Sauter being challenged by Matt Crafton.
What a great move by the veteran Crafton. On Sauter, he snuck to the middle, got to the outside, and is battling for the lead.
Johnny's going to fight back on the inside. Here comes Kyle Busch. Keep an eye on him.
On board with Kyle with a great view of Crafton and Sauter.
That's a beautiful view for us, but it's aggravating to the drivers driving off into that sun wide open at 180 miles an hour. Look at those 3 differing grooves. Sauter on the bottom, Craft in the middle, Kyle up top. Look who's presented himself as part of this lead battle.
Ben Rhodes, the 41 truck, may have something to say about this.
Rhodes believed he had a truck capable of contending a year ago, but a bad restart late in the race hurt him. Couldn't make up the ground before the checkers fell, ended up 4th. They felt like they were at least that good, if not better. A little score to settle coming into this one today, but they've had some hiccups today, some gremlins, as Hermie called them. But right there is Rhodes in that green truck, and he is inside the top 5.
There were a lot of sparks from that 4 truck of Kyle Busch, Michael.
And right behind Rhodes is Jesse Little, the little team that could. He has fought his way into the top 5. Everybody in front of him is either won championships or races, and he's right there on their tails.
Jesse Little, another one of those outstanding young drivers, just 20 years old. Will run 5 to 10 races this year. Was originally scheduled to run 4, but they believe they've been able to secure the budget to up that number.
Yeah, NASCAR
maybe as many as 8.
NASCAR made a rule change in this series about the engines under the hood, and I think it's done a couple things, Phil. This is the most competitive race I can remember at Atlanta for a long while. Kyle with a lot of momentum. He slides inside of Matt Crafton.
Unfortunately missed Matt Crafton as he slid inside.
So not only is this race more competitive, it's also more economical for the smaller teams to go out and contend and compete with the bigger teams.
For 6th, Moffitt in the 16, sliding up in front of Noah Gragson.
Yeah, Noah's trying to make the pass on Moffitt. Right on his tailgate as they enter turn 1.
You heard Rudy Fugle, the crew chief for Gragson, indicate that they got that 18 truck a little too tight in stage 2.
Well, I think that air pressure might have came up on the Ford truck, Bill. We saw it sparking, and he lost positions. while he's still sparking, every lap that goes by, a little bit more pressure will build in those tires, and that must be what this truck likes.
I think it's about where he wants it too. Now remember, this is that stage we were talking about at the very top of the show. These guys have one more set of tires laying on the ground in the pits. All depends on when that caution comes out. If it comes out right now, it's probably too early, but some guys may roll the dice. I'm not getting another caution and put them on.
Spencer Davis in the 51, 10th. That's Stuart Friesen and Myatt Snyder battling with him.
I mean, there's battles all over this racetrack. So many competitive trucks.
It's a big day for Davis, running 5 races this season for Kyle Busch Motorsports, and he's a Georgia native, and his sponsor Ream, an Atlanta-based company. And Davis is right there hanging around the top 10, and his boss, Kyle Busch, is out front.
This is a cool quote. We can't all be good guys.
Here comes the man in black.
Some of us have to wear black hats.
Austin Dillon, the new leader.
It's what makes the world go around. The Intimidator, Dale Earnhardt Sr. I think I want to be on the evil side too.
Austin Dillon wins it.
There's a secret in them Smoky Mountains, and it's my new KFC Smoky Mountain Barbecue, made by taking my freshly prepared extra crispy fried chicken and coating it in a sweet and smoky barbecue. Try it in a tenders basket at KFC, now just $4.99. It's finger-licking good.
It's too orange, but in a good way.
Totally too orange in a good way.
Don't settle. Shop eBay for the look you want from all the best brands. eBay.
NASCAR roars into Las Vegas for the fastest weekend of the year. Enjoy fine dining, luxury shopping, and non-stop nightlife. And a triple-header racing weekend with the superstars and 200-miles-per-hour cars of NASCAR. America's racing showplace. Great seats are going fast with $10 tickets for kids. It's high speed and high stakes when NASCAR returns to the entertainment capital of the world. Pennzoil 400 Race Weekend. Get details at lvms.com.
UFC Fight Night on Fox.
I know what I'm capable of, but I fear nobody. We're gonna go in there and dominate him. He's breakable.
And all of a sudden we've got a war.
Jeremy Stevens.
I want to fight everybody in front of me.
Josh Emmett.
Take the center of this hurricane.
Plus, Jessica Andrade and Tisha Torres battle for a shot at the top. UFC Fight Night tonight, 6 Eastern on Fox.
Back here in Atlanta, 31 laps to go. Taking a look at our Ford facts. The Thor Sport Group and how they finished last week at Daytona. 4th, 6th, 19th, 24th. Having a good run here today. In fact, all 4 of them in the top 10.
Yeah. Remember now, we talk about the strategy and how these guys want tires. They have enough fuel to get to the end. If we go caution-free, I don't think we're going to see any pit stops. And now, the longer we go, I think the less strategy will come into play unless somebody wants to gamble and say, okay, if the caution comes out now, the majority of the field, if not all the field, is going to pit. But you may have that one outlier, Michael, that may say, let's roll the dice. We know if the caution doesn't come out again, we're in trouble, but let's roll the dice and see what happens.
But Phil, I want to remind you of what happened at the end of stage 2. Johnny Sauter was coming. He was catching Kyle Busch. Kyle's truck seemed to be going away a bit, and the same thing is happening here. Johnny's starting to break even or beat Kyle a bit each lap. maybe that 21 truck's better for the long haul. He doesn't want to see a caution. Maybe he thinks he can just race Kyle Busch and beat him to the checker.
And remember, this stage is 10 laps longer than the first 2 stages were.
Kyle continues to lead, and Johnny Sauter continues to chase. And there's the battle for third. Crafton closing in on Ben Rhodes. A couple of teammates.
Yes, a couple of those Ford ThorSport teammates you were talking about just now, Vince.
I think we'll be talking about these guys all season long running for victories. Impressive, the switch of manufacturers, the change of power under the hood, and yet they haven't really skipped a beat.
You look at what ThorSport has been through the last couple of years with the fire at their facility that set them back, and such a challenge for their team and their organization on so many levels, and then the switch in manufacturers to Ford. I mean, these guys, they have been to the wall the last couple of years with the amount of work they've had to do.
Yeah, and it was a pretty late switch for them too, but Junior Joyner said his guys all just jumped in there and made it happen, and we've seen some beautiful trucks at the racetrack at Daytona and again here at Atlanta, and I'm sure we'll see the same thing when we get to Las Vegas next week. And we're going to Las Vegas next week.
Can't wait. Then we're going to get a little bit of a break, a couple of weeks before going to Martinsville, but opening up 3 weeks in a row with Daytona, Atlanta, and Las Vegas for the trucks. Fun way to start the season.
Oh, look at Rhodes bobbling off that turn. When you hear the spotters and the drivers talk about wrapping the corner, that means staying on that yellow line till you're well off the turn. You could see Rhodes wandered up a bit there. Crafton tried to peek to the bottom, but he couldn't do it. Matt takes a bit of a different line into that corner, and you can see it cost him. Here comes Brett Moffitt up the inside.
Yeah, that 16 truck of Brett Moffitt's going to grab that 4th spot from Matt Crafton. Brett's been pretty much dedicated to that outside line. Even while those guys were running around the bottom, he was running the outside. He made it work, got by Crafton.
Of course, Ryan Truex piloted this truck last year, and we saw so many good finishes by Ryan. Scott Zipadelli does a real nice job as crew chief with this group. And Brett Moffitt has stepped in replace of Ryan, who's moved on to the Xfinity Series, and Moffitt putting another good run together today, just as expected.
Ryan Truex came oh so close to making our playoffs last year, lost on a tiebreaker to that 41 truck of Ben Rhodes, although it was number 27 last year.
Kligerman up top in the 75, Dalton Sargent in the 25, and that's Cody Coughlin in the 2, 12th, 13th, and 14th.
These three have broken away from Austin Hill and Joe Nemechek. See Hill in the background there, but those 5 trucks were glued together earlier, and now it looks like they're getting a little bit separation. Check out this battle here for the 3rd position.
3rd, 4th, and 5th, Rhodes, Moffitt, and Crafton on board now with Matt Crafton.
Yeah, these guys find themselves about 5 seconds behind our leader, Kyle Busch. Johnny Sauter's just over a second behind Kyle Busch right now.
Hey guys, the 88 of Matt Crafton really fighting a balance issue. They've been really almost right on top of what they need, but right now the 88, Matt says he is too tight, and when he overdrives it by just a little bit, then he wants to snap loose. So a balance issue for the 88, but he's making a move, trying to get below the 16.
These guys are giving it all they got. Look, trucks hanging out, slipping and sliding. The tires are shot, and they're determined to make up ground.
Remember, they've got 1 set of tires left in the pits. But you don't want to, well, you're definitely not going to come under green and get them,
no.
That's for sure.
You don't want to take them home with you, but it's okay if everybody else takes their tires home as new as well.
But, you know, how do you beat Kyle Busch if you can't do something different than what he does?
This is not going to give you, if we don't get a caution flag, it's not going to give you an option to do something different.
Moffitt continues to work on Rhodes and takes it for 3rd place. Camping World 20 to go at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Last time by, 2nd place Johnny Sauter lopped about 0.3 of a second off Kyle Busch's lead. Gonna have to keep our eye on Sauter.
Yes, plenty of time with 20 to go, Michael.
Rhodes and Crafton continue to battle for 4th. We're taking a break, but you won't miss a thing. Side by side from Atlanta in the Truck Series.
Go! Yes! Nice play!
Still buffering.
Too.
What happened?
Hey, Joy, you should let your new pals know that according to a leading independent study, the most awarded network is now Best in Streaming. I think you just did. You both can get a much better view of the game on the iPhone on Verizon Unlimited.
Thanks.
Hey, Thomas, when's your flight? Someone stole my watch. Hey.
Unlimited is only as good as the network it's on. So get the best unlimited on the most awarded network. And right now, when you buy iPhone 8, you'll get one on us with no trade-in required.
So Dave here is taking the family up to the lake for the weekend, but without the white knuckles this time. Because his new 2018 Ford F-150 has Bliss with trailer coverage. It's Brainiac smart. Not only does it watch your F-150's blind spots, it's got your trailer covered too. Just another reason why Ford F-Series is America's best-selling truck for 41 straight years. This is the new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, pal. It is the bar.
Things can get rough out there. The bumper to the back of the 20 board! You think you got the brass?
I proved it last season.
That was last year. Now we've got young blood ready to take out the old. Start your engines. It's time to race.
The Big East tournament. It's about to go down.
This is where the hardest players turn it.
The stars of the Big East fight for conference supremacy on FS1.
It's come from the Big East tournament. Watch the MSG where we born to be victorious. Oh my goodness! This place goes crazy.
The 2018 Big East tournament begins Wednesday, March 7th on FS1. Sponsored by Jeep.
All week we work, and when Friday comes, we all get to raise a little hell.
You've been watching it. Kyle Busch continuing to lead on this beautiful night here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The lights are on around this mile and a half. We started late this afternoon, and the sun is now setting, and the temperature's cooling.
There's Johnny Sauter dealing with lap traffic. He had solved that lead down under a second, and now he finds himself stuck behind the 54 truck of LeMaster. LeMaster going high. This is so frustrating for Johnny, giving up precious time.
Yeah, that cost him quite a bit of time there. He was a half a second slower the last lap because of traffic. This time he was almost a full second slower than Kyle Busch.
He just didn't predict which way LeMaster would go when they got to the corner, and I don't think Johnny Sauter was too happy about it.
I was going to say it. As I said, the air is cooling, but sometimes inside the helmet it's getting warmer. And you know, speaking of Sauter and that issue, as you see Grant Enfinger in that 98.
Yeah, they had a good battle going a few moments ago with Stuart Friesen for the 8th spot. Stuart now has opened up that much gap over Grant Enfinger. Grant's back in 9th.
Kyle Busch out front.
And I'm down here in Kyle Busch's pit right now. You can see the crew, they were making those just in case tire pressure adjustments in case they have to come in, making sure those tires are ready for a short run. They want to do everything they can to ensure they get the checkered flag. They can see in their sights right now.
Yeah, Alan, every lap that goes by, I'd say the tire guy squirts another half pound in those tires. The shorter the run, the more air you want in them. And so these crew chiefs just aren't sitting on the box watching the laps roll off. They're making a plan just in case that caution flag falls on the next lap. They'll be ready with the right pressures in the tires, and they're also making plans for adjustments to go with those new tires.
That's right. When we qualify, everyone pumps the tires up. When we start the race, everyone lets the tires way down. So these guys are going to be somewhere in between there. As you mentioned, Michael, every lap, as we see Jesse Little trying to grab that 5th spot away from Matt Crafton.
Wings over North Georgia on the side of Jesse's truck. That team just putting together race after race to get a chance to run. This will inspire your ownership group to try to get you back to the track, won't it?
Absolutely. If he can come out of here with a top 5, what a great effort that'll be.
For 5th, Little getting it, and Crafton thinking about 3 wide with Corbin Forrester. The lap truck squeezes through easily.
See the green and white trucks sliding a little bit sideways there. For Ben Rhodes.
He's got his eye on Ben Rhodes, doesn't he?
Sure does.
Bill, one more spot, it's just up ahead.
We can see him gaining on him too. A little bit of a slip by Ben Rhodes that last corner.
10 to go here in Atlanta.
Remember, this is about the length these guys have run the first 2 stages. Now we're going to see whose truck maybe changed 10 laps after they had their 40 laps on those tires.
And just remember, we've seen a little wear too. We're going to go out to laps on tires we haven't seen yet today. These teams, these drivers have to be cognizant of the fact that their tires are wearing more and more.
We saw some issues at the end of stages on the Xfinity cars as well.
That doesn't have anything to do with Goodyear. These are the most awesome tires in the world, but this track is like a cheese grater, eating the rubber right off those tires.
Same right side tires that the Xfinity cars had earlier today. A little bit different left side, but it's the same combination of lefts and rights that these guys ran last year.
Well, and if we do get a yellow, keep in mind the new rules in regards to one less man over the wall, and that creates a variety of challenges for these crews, as you see Jesse Little closing the gap on Ben Rhodes for 4th. But these teams really haven't had many reps under the new format with these pit stops, and that opens up the opportunity for something to go wrong on a final stop and change the outcome of this race.
Probably very few 4 tire changes for these guys at Daytona. Sometimes it was fuel only, and probably at most right side tires. So it may be the first time they put 4 tires on under race conditions. Today was.
But we won't see them come to the pit road unless there's a yellow, because they don't need to come under green, but they want to come. They want to get some tires, don't they? Sauter trying to close up on Kyle Busch. Here's Johnny Sauter's radio.
This thing is not over. We still got another shot if a caution does come out. Still all green. Keep working it.
That's a spotter's job. Keep your man in the game. Make sure he understands the opportunity that might lie ahead. And that's also a nice message to the crew chief and the team. You know, we could have the most important pit stop of the year could be coming up, and we don't know it yet, but we have to be ready for it.
Crafton on his teammate Ben Rhodes for 5th. The only one of the top 7 that doesn't have a series win is Jesse Little in that 97 truck, and there's a caution.
Caution. Here's our shot, boys.
The 33.
Check up here. He's right in the middle of the road, in the middle of the back straightaway, right in the middle of the track, buddy. Right in the middle of the track.
Big hit for Josh Rayom. Brings out the yellow.
We can see Josh moving around a little bit in that truck. There's Joe Shear Jr. I don't think there's any question. I mean, the guys told me, Michael, they were going to come in if it was a green-white checker finish, and it may end up being a green-white checker.
It's a good thing your crew was putting a little air in the tires, planning for those adjustments. Tab Boyd his smooth tones to Johnny Sauter saying, we ain't out of this thing yet. And now they've got an opportunity, like I said, to pull off the best pit stop of the year and put yourself in a position to win this race. Remember, Vince, Kyle Busch has not been dominant on the start of a run.
Oh, what a beautiful sight that is.
Sun setting here in Georgia, and it has just been a great couple of days weather-wise here of on-track activity. Hope that holds true tomorrow as well for the Cup race, and it's a great sight seeing Josh climb out of that truck, and you see the damage. That was a big hit.
Yeah, Josh sees how ugly that front end looks there. See him right there. He's all by himself. Just gets sideways, overcorrects. He's going to slide back up the racetrack.
Nice job slipping through.
And then clipped. Dalton Sargent came by and clipped him with a 25 truck.
And Dalton couldn't see, Phil. You know how blinding that tire smoke is, and he had to just make a guess at which way to go, and he guessed wrong.
Quite a bit of damage to Dalton's truck there.
And you know, when we talk too about these trucks slipping and sliding, you can't just change directions when these tires are worn out. It just won't turn for you.
It's a tough break for Dalton Sargent because he was inside the top 15, well inside the top 15, was running 12th at the time.
I think this is going to be a green-white checkered, Phil.
I do too. Pit road is not open yet, Michael.
Yeah, they can't get that mess cleaned up quick enough for it not to be. I don't think, maybe so, but with the damage to Rayon's truck on the back straightaway, might just see a couple laps of racing. I still think they come get 4 tires.
I think they get 4 tires. Now, if you want to gamble, if you want to try to do something different than Kyle Busch, maybe put 2 right side tires on, trying to beat him out of the pits, Hermie.
tough break for the 25. These guys have been solid all weekend long with Dalton Sargent. Got a veteran crew chief with Doug Randolph and was really hanging around inside that top 10. They talked about a chassis adjustment first, but then they realized how much damage was done to this truck. So they did not wait for the pit road to open. They came down, put 4 tires, going to do everything they can with this damage and try to salvage a good finish. But disappointing end to what has been a positive day for the 25.
Well, that's for sure, Hermie.
Still on the lead lap, and he did a nice job staying on the lead lap. He pitted early. He will go to the have to go to the back of the pack, but it was better than riding around there having something rub and blow out that right front tire and do even more damage.
Finished 8th last week at Daytona, and it was, as we mentioned, with an opportunity to get another top 10 finish here today, but that is heavily damaged with that contact.
Remember, in the Xfinity race, Kevin Harvick started 7th, I think, on a restart with fresh tires and was leading by the time they got to turn 3. So fresh tires are that big, and I just think everybody comes and gets them.
Critical for the pit crews to have flawless performances as they go over the wall right now.
The only thing I question, Vince, Jesse Little with the little team that could, do they have any tires left? Is that in the budget to have another set for this 97 truck that's just been amazing today?
Oh yeah, he's going to have another set of tires on the pits.
Hey, Michael, not only do they have another set of tires, they've got a Stewart Haas Racing pit crew servicing that truck on pit road. He has gained spots every time he's come down pit road, so don't count Jesse Little out of this thing either. His dad, Chad Little, a former competitor winner in the Xfinity Series as well, now works for NASCAR, but these guys could be a factor in this race as we get close to the end here.
Well, it's been impressive to watch not only the performance on the track, but you're right. That team has been on it on pit road. Little might not only just have a set of tires, he's probably thinking, I'm going to win this race.
And what are they thinking in the leaders pit box with Kyle Busch?
Hey, just remember here, if I can do something with air to help you, no adjustments will be way better. Yeah, I know. Just need to make sure I don't get tight. So if you just want to take a pound or so out of the left rear, then let's go with that.
You hear Kyle Busch in that communication with his crew chief, Marcus Richmond. The pit lane will be open this time.
And when you got an experienced veteran like Marcus on the box and Kyle behind the wheel, it's a negotiation to land on what you think is the best combination of changes on this last stop.
Well, it's going to be on the pit crews here.
And it's also going to be on the driver. They're wanting to get all they can get. Make sure you stop right on your mark.
Coming to pit lane. Oh, you don't want to make a mistake here. Coming to you, Hermie.
Be 4 tires for the 21 of Johnny Sauter, but crew chief Joe Shear told Johnny, do not wait for fuel. Obviously, they want to try to get out front. Alan?
Grant Moffitt says he is just on the splitter too much. He will get those 4 tires and fuel, but he also wants an air adjustment, hopefully to pick that truck up a little bit. Leader Kyle Busch, we heard the debate between the driver and the crew chief. I think they settled on a pound of air out of the left rear. We'll see what they go with. Kyle Busch says he just doesn't want to be tight for this restart. There's a lot of trouble, though, on that front rear. They're running around. He left only 2 tires for Kyle Busch. 2 tires and out for the leader.
The right front, they were slow on the right front, and they called for 2 there instead of 4. Originally they wanted 4, but they had to go on the 2.
I think Kyle Busch called for 2. I think with the trouble on the right front, when they dropped that jack, he left.
Yeah.
We said you can't afford a mistake, and there's a problem on that right front. You saw the rear, they were working on that left rear, and then Kyle pulled away, and the tire is off the left rear.
That was the audible. Kyle wasn't aware that the crewman had got to the left rear to take his tire off. And he left.
And those that didn't want to see Kyle Busch come down to the Truck Series and win, they're cheering. But
well, he was a long way from winning this race.
Yeah.
Even with a good stop, he was going to have a battle on his hands.
And just like that, the race changes. Kyle Kyle Busch has led the most laps today, 67, has been dominant at times, trying to claim his 50th career win in the Truck Series. But this pit stop damages his chances.
Looks like
Wyatt Snyder actually won the battle off of pit road.
Was that a 4-tire change for that team?
We're checking right now. We thought it was 2 tires, and it was 2 tires. That's when you try to make something happen. That's what Wyatt Snyder and his crew did. They're going to try to make something happen here with 2 tires.
The only thing I'll say about that, Phil, is he's going to start most likely on the inside, and with old tires on the left, it's going to be a struggle for him to get rolling. So we'll see how he's able to do, but that puts Brett Moffitt, who's in 3rd, Matt Crafton, who's in 5th, right behind Snyder. If he doesn't go, it's going to hurt them.
Watch this after they take care of the right front. The left, on the left rear, there you see waving, saying, no, I don't have them. I don't have the lugs on.
Well, no one expected Kyle to go. I think that was just a decision he made on his own when they struggled on the right front. I can win this race on 2 tires, and I'm leaving. He didn't realize the left rear had been worked on.
Yeah, and I think he had 0 lug nuts, obviously, on the left rear. That tire, he knows there's a problem. They've told him that they have no lug nuts on the left rear, and there the tire comes off.
NASCAR overtime, taking you to the checkers from Atlanta Motor Speedway when we come back. Overtime for the 4th time in series history here at Atlanta.
Got a truck stalled down in turn 4 there, Vince. I think we might have to go.
Cody
or is he just
Coughlin.
Tail end of the line?
It's more on the tail. Lights are still out on the pace truck.
So they're going to come around and get the green. And remember, if the yellow comes out before they get the white, we'll rack it up and do it again. Wyatt Snyder and Johnny Sauter. Snyder with 2 tires on the inside, Sauter with 4 on the outside, and here comes Brett Moffitt for the lead. Moffitt in the 16.
3 wide, you're in the middle.
3 wide behind Brett Moffitt.
What a move by Brett Moffitt. He's got a gap now.
And here comes Crafton trying to get around for 2nd, but he's got company. Look at it. Wow. Noah Gregson on the inside.
Noah Gregson, Johnny Sauter side by side now, coming down for the white.
But it's Brett Moffitt out front, and the white flag is out. 1 to go in Atlanta. The next flag will end it. Side by side is Gregson and Sauter.
Brett
Moffitt out front.
He said, see you later. I'm driving off into the sunset here at Atlanta for this win.
Banging doors, Sauter and Gregson. And now Rhodes trying to get into the mix. But Brett Moffitt with 1 career win, about to make it 2. Bringing it to the line. Brett Moffitt wins in Atlanta.
Nice work. Nice work, boys.
Wow.
Make sure we thank Mark Conquest, man. Thank you, Brett Moffitt. Thank you, all the partners. Mark, awesome engine. Awesome restart. Thank you, Brandon. Proud of you, boys.
The Toyota power under the hood of the 16, and Hattori Racing gets its first ever win with Brett Moffitt getting it done at Atlanta. What a finish. The restart of his life sends him to victory lane. Brett Moffitt wins. Burning it down, Brett Moffitt with his 2nd career win. He was a part-time driver the first time he won for Red Horse in August of 2016 at Michigan. But this is his ride, and he is taking it to victory lane with crew chief Scott Zipadelli.
Team manager Mike Gricci. That's just a great scene down there, isn't it?
It is. A lot of high fives, a lot of stuff going on down here. We saw your driver be aggressive on every restart. Did you know he had it, though, for the win?
You never know. You know, if you can run a top 5 all day long and have good stops, I think you got a shot at winning a race. You just got to have you got to have track position. You got to make it happen.
That last pit stop was vital. What adjustment did you make to make sure he had the truck to do it?
I changed the air pressure a little bit to make sure the splitter wouldn't hit, so they would take off a little bit better for 2 laps. But you know, I can't thank everybody enough. Shiggy Hattori give this opportunity. He's working so hard with all of his partners in Japan and Ison Group coming aboard. And Mark Cronquist built a great engine. TRD, it's all of our partners. It's just an amazing story. And again, to be with Brett Moffitt, and, the kid proved that he can win. He's a race car driver. So hopefully we got more of this.
We'll meet you in victory lane. Hermie.
Well, and standing by with Johnny Sauter. Johnny, it looked like with about 5 laps to go that you had second in the bank, had a caution, you got a break, got out front. It came down to a last race restart. What made the difference those final couple laps?
Well, there's a lot of things. Obviously, the guys behind you lay back on the restarts, and not supposed to. But I have to kind of stay in line with what the 13's doing. So, don't really know if I could have did anything different. I'm wide open those last 2 laps. 16 had a built motor, so I don't know if it just accelerates better or what. But proud of all the guys at GMS, our Allegiant Travel, Sunseeker Resort, who I forgot to mention last week. Mr. Gallagher's new resort down in Florida. It's pretty awesome. And just thanks Chevrolet. I thought I did everything right. I ran the last 2 laps wide open. They just got going better than I did. So I'd love to be able to stand here and tell you that I think I could have did something different, but I just don't think I could. I thought I timed it right and just come up a little bit short, but by far the best truck I've ever had here. Proud of Joe, all these guys, good group of guys who just, I hate that, I felt like I had a good shot, but wide open's wide open. There's not much I can do.
Vince?
Well, to start the season first and second, still not too bad, but oh, how frustrating it must be for Kyle Busch to have had such a terrific truck to lead the most laps and then have it go awry on a pit stop. 2 years ago, the 2016 season here at Michigan, Brett Moffitt in that red and white truck, or excuse me, the black truck for Red Horse Racing. And there's the red and white. His teammate of Timothy Peters. And watch Moffitt in that black and red and the number 11 go 3 wide around the outside for the lead.
And that's William Byron, last year's Xfinity champion, on the inside as well.
Don't you put Brett Moffitt close to a checkered flag and think he's not going to go for it. What an amazing pass in Michigan, and that was the perfect restart tonight for Brett.
Victory lane with Alan Cavana and Brett Moffitt.
Brett Moffitt climbing out. You could just see the smile on his face. Big celebration. Water, Gatorade, everywhere. Brett, this relationship with the 16 truck came together not too long ago, and you're already in victory lane. Tell me about that final restart where you knew you had the tires, but you had to get it done.
Yeah, first of all, I got to thank Shiggy, Ison, TRD, Advix, A&W, and Mark Conquest and JGR Engines, and just everyone out here. Man, this is unbelievable to even be in a race car at this point, let alone in victory lane. And we had a really good truck all night. Kyle spun his tires a couple restarts ago that put us back, but right here I knew the 13 was sitting duck, and I just wanted to get a good restart, and hopefully they got into a battle behind it, which they did, and it's pretty surreal.
Congratulations on this win. Brett Moffitt wins in Atlanta on a late restart.
A restart he'll never forget, that's for sure. Brett Moffitt for the second time in his Truck Series career in victory lane. Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway, where Brett Moffitt pulled off a shocking restart and took it to victory lane to win here today. Hey, once we're done here, Monster Energy Supercross will come your way next. Here's Ralph Shaheen with a preview.
For the first time since 1999, Monster Energy Supercross is back in Tampa, Florida, at the home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Eli Tomac, who has 3 wins this year, picked up his 3rd fast qualifier earlier this afternoon, as we get ready to go racing later tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, live on FS1.
Looking forward to it, Ralph. And there you see the celebration continuing in victory lane. Brett Moffitt, the winner for Shiggy Hattori, the first ever Truck Series victory for Hattori Racing. Let's go downstairs to Alan Cavana.
And mistakes were costly today for Noah Gragson and the 18 truck. You did rally to second, but I can still sense the disappointment. Why?
Just lack of execution all day on my part. On the team's part, we just need to get better as a group. We win as a team, we lose as a team. So thankful to be out here racing in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. We had a really fast, safe lot out of glass, switched Toyota Tundra today, and led that first stage, won that first stage, and I thought we had a really good truck. Just disappointment on my part. Need to get better with my feedback to my crew chief, Rudy Fugel. Need to have better pit stops all day so we can stay in contention. We finished second, which, I mean, it's a good points day, but we came here to win. But just very thankful. I mean, I gave it my all. Went from ninth to second in one corner there on that last restart, and just, I mean, I can't do much more. Just need to get better on my part.
All right, they made the best out of a bad day, Hermie.
Well, Ben Rose finished 4th, but I can see some disappointment in your face as well. You guys fought some type of a gremlin all day long. Did you ever figure out what was going on with the truck?
Well, I think it plagued us in qualifying. That's why we started so far back. It's just really disappointing because I felt like we had the truck to beat tonight. Our 41 F450 or F150 was really fast tonight. I mean, I feel like we had the truck to beat. I feel like I'm disappointed with 4th place because I feel like we should have won. But there was times during the race where I would go a second and a half without power in the corners. I mean, the motor would just completely die. I would go down to 5,000 RPM, which is absurd. Then going down the straightaways, I felt like I was even on 6 or 7 cylinders at times. I was just watching people drive by. It was for the whole race. It plagued us, and we could never figure out what it was. So this was a new motor, but we're gonna have to take it out and send it back and get something that's really new, I guess, because it was just plagued us all day long. I'm really disappointed with it. I mean, we have a championship team, and we're making championship runs. I'm just disappointed we couldn't get the stage points we deserved. We had to come down and pit so many times. I guess that's practice for our pit crew, but yeah, just disappointed. That's the story of the day.
Alan?
And over here with Myatt Snyder, who had a heck of a final restart. The team gave you 2 fresh ones, a strategy call. What's that like as the driver when they give you 2 fresh tires here at Atlanta?
Well, it's always especially crazy at Atlanta. I see Brett got the jump on me. I spun my tires just a little bit right there, so he was able to get to the inside of me. But we did everything we could. You know, the guys at Thorsport gave me a really great Liberty Sacks Ford F-150, so we adjusted on it all night and finally got it good before that final restart. So all we knew is that we needed track positions. So just happy to finally get up there and be able to run with everybody. So finally showed the strength of this team, and you know, I think it shows a lot of what we can do.
Strategy pays off. P7 tonight for Myatt Snyder.
Yeah, I liked the call.
Yeah, and I think he did a great job on that restart, getting going on those old tires.
Best career finish for Myatt.
Heading west next week, Las Vegas for race number 3 of the season, the Camping World Truck Series. Another 1.5 miles, but also different than what we had here today.
Way different 1.5 miles too. And we saw the issues that Kyle Busch had. Now, in the past, that has resulted in a suspension for the crew chief when a vehicle leaves pit road and goes out on the racetrack and loses a wheel. So they may be without Marcus Richmond for that Ford truck. Spencer Davis is scheduled to be in that truck next week at Las Vegas.
How about Shiggy Hattori there, the team owner, just to your right as you're looking at Brett Moffitt and his first career win as a Truck Series owner. And Shiggy was an outstanding racer of his own back in his day, not just the fenders, but also an open wheel IndyCar driver.
That's right. He had some speed when he came here in the Truck Series. He ran for Germain Racing back in the day, and he put this team together, put some great people together with Mike Gricci and Scott Zipadelli. And those guys were so close to winning last year. They didn't get it done with Ryan Truex, but they got it done here.
Wow, what about the primetime player behind the wheel, Brett Moffitt, gunning it and getting the win late in the race. He ran his fastest lap of the whole day on the last lap of the race, got the lead, and he was out of there. I'm so happy for this team. Shiggy worked so hard to bring competitive product to the racetrack week in and week out, and he got rewarded for that here tonight in Atlanta.
It was a heartbreaker for Kyle Busch. Looked to have the winning truck there, but they came to the pit road for the final stop, and they had problems on the right rear, and then eventually didn't get the left rear secured, and that cost him a shot at the win and opened the door for the restart that led to Brett Moffitt going from 3rd to 1st for the victory.
Yeah, Kyle made the right call. 4 tires was the right call, but they just didn't execute on pit road.
There it is, next Friday night from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Race day begins at 8:30 for race number 3 of the season. For Michael Waltrip, Phil Parsons, Hermie Sadler, Alan Cavana, I'm Vince Welch. Now let's go to Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. Monster Energy Supercross, here's Ralph Shaheen.